The sun had barely risen over rural Ohio when Luke Carter flipped the sign on his garage door to open. He was a quiet 38-year-old mechanic known for fixing more than just engines. He was known for kindness. His auto shop was small, tucked between cornfields and a church, but people came from counties away for his honesty. That morning felt normal until a sleek, matte black Tesla rolled up, clearly out of place in that dusty town. The door opened and out stepped a woman in a pristine pantsuit and heels that had never touched gravel. She looked around hesitantly, then opened the back door. Luke's eyes widened as he saw a young girl, maybe 9, in a state-of-the-art but broken motorized wheelchair. Her legs were thin, motionless, her eyes curious. Luke wiped his hands on his towel and approached slowly. The woman spoke first. "I was told you're the only one left who might try." Luke didn't ask about her wealth, her position, or her desperation. He just crouched beside the wheelchair and started looking. The girl watched him carefully, fascinated by how gentle he was with the broken levers and worn-out wires. "She's Olivia," the woman said softly. "My daughter. The chair stopped working 2 months ago. We've tried everything, specialists, engineers, no one could fix it. And without it, she can't move independently." Luke nodded, brushing his fingers across the joystick. "Looks like someone tried to replace the motor with a newer system. It wasn't compatible. Fried the whole interface." The mother bit her lip. "Can you fix it?" Luke glanced at Olivia, who gave him the faintest smile. "I don't know, but I'm going to try." Something about her reminded him of his own daughter who had passed years ago. That memory gave him resolve. Over the next 3 hours, Luke dismantled the chair with the precision of a surgeon. The garage floor was scattered with parts sensors, batteries, copper wires, and Olivia sat beside him, asking 100 questions. "Why do you twist that? What's a circuit board?" Her curiosity brought life to the place. Her mother, Morgan Hartwell, a billionaire tech executive, watched from the background, clearly unused to sitting still, yet transfixed. Luke noticed she kept checking her phone, but then putting it down each time. Olivia laughed. "She hasn't smiled like this in months," Morgan finally said. "I thought maybe the chair would give her freedom again. But I didn't expect someone to give her hope too." Luke gave a faint smile. "Machines don't change people. People do." By sunset, Luke had reassembled the chair, replacing the motor with one he'd custom fit from a broken go-kart. He installed a salvaged control panel from a drone and calibrated the sensors by hand. It was messy, improvised, but it was alive. "All right," he said gently, wheeling Olivia into place. "Let's see if she listens." Olivia's hands trembled as she reached for the joystick. Morgan held her breath. With a soft hum, the chair responded, rolling forward a few inches, then stopping. Olivia gasped, then giggled. "It moved. I didn't even press hard." Morgan's eyes flooded instantly. Her daughter hadn't had independent movement in months. She knelt beside her, hugging her tightly. Luke turned away, pretending to clean his hands, giving them space. For him, this was more than a repair job. It was healing for Olivia, for Morgan. Maybe for himself too. Morgan asked to pay whatever he wanted. Luke shook his head. "You already did," he said, glancing at Olivia. "She reminded me what this place is for." But Morgan wasn't done. She asked him about his background, why he chose to stay in such a small town. He simply said, "Some people fix engines. I fix what I can reach." That night, as the Tesla drove away under the stars, Luke returned to his empty shop. He looked at the small oil-stained photo on his wall, his daughter in a wheelchair before. Her cancer took her. For the first time in years, he whispered, "I did something good today, baby girl." And somehow, the silence felt warmer than ever before. 3 weeks passed since Luke had fixed Olivia's wheelchair, and he hadn't heard a word. He assumed they had returned to their busy world of skyscrapers and security gates. That didn't bother him, he hadn't done it for recognition. He was under the hood of an old Dodge pickup one rainy afternoon when he heard the screech of tires stop outside. A sleek SUV, this time navy blue, with tinted windows, rolled into the garage's gravel lot. Luke didn't flinch until the door opened and a familiar laugh rang through the mist. Olivia. This time she wasn't in the wheelchair. She stood, wobbly, cautious, but standing clutching a walker and smiling like sunshine. Morgan stepped out after her, eyes already glassy. "She started physical therapy the day after you fixed the chair," she said. Being able to move gave her hope, and hope gave her courage. Luke stepped forward, stunned. His voice cracked. "She's walking." Morgan nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Only a few steps at a time. But that's more than she's had in 3 years." Olivia reached for Luke's grease-stained hand and held it. "Mom says you did something. Doctors couldn't." Luke chuckled softly. "All I did was fix a chair." Morgan shook her head. "You fixed her heart." They all stood there in the soft drizzle, no words for what this moment meant. Then Morgan opened the trunk and pulled out a briefcase. She stepped forward and said something that nearly made Luke drop his wrench. "I want to offer you a full-time position on our company's innovation team. We build tech for people with disabilities, and we need someone who actually understands how machines connect to people." Luke froze. This was $1 billion firm ... and they wanted him? But Luke looked back at his dusty garage, his worn tools, the photo of his daughter still hanging on the wall inside. "This shop saved me," he finally said. "I don't know if I'm meant to leave it," Morgan understood. "Then we'll bring the job here. Remote lab. You lead the field testing from your garage." She wasn't just offering charity, she saw value in his heart, not just his hands. Luke hesitated, and then Olivia looked up at him. "You already helped me walk. Think how many more kids you can help." That broke whatever wall he'd built inside. He nodded slowly. "Let's build something real." And just like that, the man who fixed broken engines was about to help build a future. Within 2 months, Luke's shop transformed. Part auto repair, part innovation lab, it now had 3D printers, prototype frames, and engineers visiting weekly. Yet he never stopped helping the local folks. He still patched old mufflers and changed oil for neighbors. What changed was his purpose. Olivia visited often, each time walking a little more freely, sometimes even helping test new mobility aids for other children. Her favorite thing was drawing dream chairs with wings and buttons, handing them to Luke with big expectations. Morgan, once guarded and always rushing, now laughed easily in that dusty garage, learning to live in the present. People in town whispered how a billionaire came to stay because a mechanic taught her what wealth couldn't buy. One snowy December morning, a large delivery truck rolled into town. Inside was the first full prototype of a revolutionary wheelchair Luke had designed, a hybrid between powered mobility and physical therapy. The first child to receive it wasn't Olivia, it was a boy from across the state whose parents couldn't afford treatment. Luke insisted on giving it for free. When the child took his first independent movement, his mother sobbed, and Morgan stood beside Luke saying, this is legacy." They named the model the Olivia one, in honor of the girl whose courage started it all. That evening, the town held a small gathering at the church hall. People clapped. Some cried. And Luke, who hated attention, simply raised a cup of sweet tea and whispered, "To the kids who fight every day." Later that night, after everyone had gone, Luke sat alone in his office. He looked at the photo of his daughter again, this time not in mourning, but in gratitude. "You'd like her, baby girl," he whispered. "She's got your laugh." The garage was quiet, but his heart was full. Outside, the snow fell slowly, softly, covering the ground in something that looked a lot like peace. A place once filled with sorrow had become a place of healing for many, not just one. And it all started with one broken wheelchair, and a man who refused to quit.